Hey everyone, hopefully your day is going okay. My name's Andy, my channel's Finding Value. And if you guys are looking for undervalued investment opportunities, if you're looking for financial education, if you just want to listen to someone talk about being a better investor, click subscribe. I'm going to go over copper. Copper, I think, has pulled back quite a bit. I think some of the charts are breaking their uptrends. I think we're going to see larger pullbacks in copper. And when you take a big picture view of all this, I think copper is going to be in increased demand in the future for all of these renewable energies, for electric vehicles, for the build out of grids in third world countries. It's going to be positive for a lot of things. And I'm going to go over some of the fundamentals in it, and I'm going to go over some of the charts in the individual companies and a mutual fund. We'll go over COPX. So let's jump in, do some technical analysis on copper. I do think it's a good long-term strategic material. So here we go. This is copper, the price itself. We've been in this uptrend, and you can tell it got clobbered right here. It's just straight on down, but we're coming to support here very soon. And we're coming to a trend line. So we've got double support where copper could end up maybe tomorrow. So we'll see what tomorrow brings, and hopefully the trend line holds and the support from previous copper prices gives it nice support. Here's the copper long-term supply and demand. Sometimes when things get clobbered, I go back to the supply-demand curves. We are in a deficit coming up right here, and it's going to go into a massive deficit out in the future. This is what we should be focusing on as an investor. These market balances are what move prices higher. And if the demand in the dark line is going up this great and your supply is right here and the deficit's the difference between the two, this is going to support much higher prices. And that's why I'm showing this. From an investor, we should be looking at these charts. Now here's COPX, Global X Copper Miners. You can see it's a clear break to the downside of its uptrend. Here's the uptrend line, and we're pulling on back. So we're probably going to have a little bit of a time down here, which is good if you want to buy cheaper shares and you're a long-term investor in copper. And it's inevitable that you're going to have a pullback at some point. You can't go straight up. So we're having that pullback. And you can see it clear as day by looking at this chart. Glencore could potentially be having a pullback as well. You can see we're playing with this bottom line here. This is an ascending wedge, and we could see a good substantial pullback at any time now. Anglo American's already got started on its substantial pullback, and it's still in the downtrend here. We're still in a downtrend. It's pulling back. Southern Copper's now pulling back. You can see what we broke here past couple days. It's been shooting lower. And, it could come all the way back down a good another 10, 15 bucks a share. We do have a line coming through here as well that could provide some support. You know what? I'm going to put it in for you guys because I want to see what it does too. So we put this guy right there. Drag this thing up. So I think we'll get some support around the 53. There's good support down there. Here's Vale, another ascending wedge. These ascending wedges, they could pull back a little bit. They could pull back quite a bit. We haven't broken out yet, but it's right there. Another upward sloping channel. We broke to the downside for Rio Tinto, so we could see a little bit of a pullback here, short term. And BHP is following everyone else. I think we're going to see a pullback probably. Copper Bank, you can see the nice flag pattern breaking to the downside. So we might head a little bit lower. This is a fantastic pattern down here though, because this was like a nice basing pattern. It shot higher, consolidated, and then we broke to the downside. But the basing pattern looks good. NGEX, it's still holding on strong, even though it was down 9%. We're still in this uptrend. Still holding on. Antofagasta. Now this one's broken its uptrend. Here's the uptrend line. We had this little pattern up here, broke that first pattern, then we broke again. And be careful down here, because if it breaks this 1420 area right where we're at, it could come back all the way to about 1100. But if it goes that low, I mean, even I'm going to be buying this thing. Yeah, 1100 would be a good spot. It pulls all the way back. And here's Nova Royalty. I do like royalty companies. This isn't a horrible thing. It opened lower, and if it closed up here, it actually worked its way up throughout the day, the momentum. And this does look like we're getting close to a bottom at some point in this area, or if not this day. Depends what happens overall and what the market does. If copper's weak and doesn't hold the price, this could have a little bit further downside, but it looks like it's slowing a little bit. So let's see what it brings tomorrow. I like to chart this stuff out. Copper overall looks like we've got downward pressure. So we've got downward pressure in gold, downward pressure in copper, downward pressure in uranium. All the commodities are feeling this pressure. So what I would do is take a walk outside in the sun. Take a walk outside in the sun, go get some sun, get some vitamin D, eat some good food, and relax. Relax and focus on the underlying market fundamentals. Look at the cost curves, look at the market, the supply demand balances. If we have deficits out in the future, buying opportunity is what I see. Now, I know you're going to see people in the on the news. You're going to see articles. You're going to see other YouTube channels, and they're going to tell you that, oh, the commodities thing, it's all done. It broke its uptrend. It's completely out of sync. What I focus on now, I think that we have to build the homes in order to get out of this deficit of real estate. If that is the case, and you know what, this all could be pulling back because of worries over the forbearance and moratoria. It very well could be. And we might see a dip in housing prices, but I think we still, after this original kind of fear that's in the market right now, after it, we're going to have to build the homes. We're going to go into an expansion phase, and it's all going to be intact. At least that's what I think. That's my opinion. I could obviously be very wrong. Maybe the forbearance and the moratoria come on and push everything lower. But remember, the inflation tailwinds behind us is created by real estate, and that's why I'm looking at real estate. Inventory's never been lower. The conditions are still all right there for real estate to do very well. So if that's the case, I am staying long. I'm looking for companies to acquire in the copper area. I think copper is going to do incredibly well in the future. And my favorite copper play is Nova Royalty. I like royalty companies for the long-term play here. And if the cost curves all move up because it's harder to mine copper, they get the royalty. As long as they produce more copper out of it and the price goes up, they make more money. If you guys like this content, give me a thumbs up. Thanks for listening. This is Finding Value.